When I walked through the doors for the first time about a year ago, I had no idea who I was, and I was caught up in so much. I had so many struggles going on, and when I came in here, it was like a bright light came into the dark room. And Jesus was that light for me, and he opened up this room, and the room not only showed me a better life, it showed me who I am and how I can be a better person. He helped me figure out who I am, and it was really emotional for the first month because it was like, oh my gosh, like this is who I am, and I am forever grateful for that.
But funny enough, I always felt fearful of church. Like I've always wanted to come, but never really felt like I deserved to come or that I wouldn't fit in at church. So it was super intimidating. I had a really difficult case at work around November, and I was just like needing my parents to come. Like I just wanted them to come for Christmas. One day they surprised me, they were here, and I'm like, okay, I can go to church now. When I came and listened to Pastor Doug on Christmas Eve, I was blown away. I'm like, I'm gonna come back. And when he introduced the parenting series, I'm like, I'm in.
I've experienced plenty of change in my life since following Jesus. Before I moved to Fort Mac, I just smoked a lot of weed and I drank a lot, and I just kind of sat in my room and was really depressed. Can I say that? Yeah. But then when I moved to Fort Mac and I met my lovely wife, she brought me to church, and we're always happy, and we're always talking about the wonders that he's done for us. And
yeah, there's people who have hurt me a lot. I've had a lot of fake friends, and God's let me forgive them, which was very hard for me because I just held on to the anger, and I was just like, even if I didn't think about it, like months later, I'd be like, oh, that person, I don't like them. And then it was weird. I just pray for God, like, maybe they're going for something difficult, and then I would actually find out like their side of the story on things, and it didn't make it okay what they did to me, but I was able to forgive them and be like, oh wow, God loves them too, like I can do that too.
We've explained it as looking through the door of Jesus, where a lot of people step into that door. Getting baptized is like stepping into the door, and it's very different for everyone, but I kind of spent my whole life looking into that open door, looking at Jesus, not in the door. I hadn't stepped in. And that's when I really started to actually take that step into the door and really commit to a life with Jesus. I have Emily Forster to thank so much. She brought me back to church.
And then when I came to the Easter Sunday baptisms, I cried the whole time. I'm like, I think I need to do this. I think I'm being called to get baptized because I was so emotional. But it was like a really happy tears. And I don't feel like I've ever cried like that before. So I'm like, I think this is a sign that I'm ready for this. I feel like all of us as parents have something that we want to give to our children. I'm like, I want to give my kids the world, but I'm like, now that I know Jesus, I can give them more.
I got really sick when I was 17. I was diagnosed with cancer, so that was a really rough point in my life, and I blamed a lot of it on, why would he do this to me? Why do I have to go through this sort of thing? I really want to thank my wife. She's, if not the biggest part, definitely one of the biggest parts on the reason why I've joined this faith journey and I've been pulled back into it.
My dad, he grew up without knowing Christ. So it's like, what made him say yes to all of this? Because I was just a year or two ago figuring it out for myself. And then just a few weeks ago, I was working on the tech team, the camera, and I just looked over and I saw my dad in the corner of the room, and he just had his hands up and he was praising God, and I almost started crying. I've never seen him so passionate about something. My dad's I perceive him as the strong, silent type, right? So to see him just feeling love from God and pouring out all his praise, I was just there's got to be something to this. That my dad, of all people, if he believes, I gotta believe.